Welcome to Konkonscantina. Grab a drink, sit back, and relax.
We back.
What is up, everybody? It's your boy. It's Konkon. Back at it again. Justin.
I'm alive.
Are you?
I did it.
You did it?
I survived COVID.
You did. So
I cannot taste anything.
Still no?
Liquor, no. Wine, no. Beer, medium. Sweets and salts are ramped up. They're bumping off a 10. They're like peaking. Yeah. Everything else
That's
is
a good thing.
Everything else is very muted.
Muted? Okay.
Would not recommend.
You know what else is muted? The 99th episode of Konkon's Cantina podcast.
Yeah, that's where we are.
Dude, 99 episodes.
If we play our cards right, our 100th episode could be at Toll Road Brewing on the 25th.
Talk to the people about Toll Road Brewing, because I feel like I'm always talking about Toll Road.
You turned me on to this brewery. It's a local Ocoee brewery that Konnor absolutely loves. It's kind of his local, close to his house watering hole.
It's my watering hole.
Like, that's your spot.
It is.
I have never had a beer from there I don't like, and I'm super excited to have a live show at the brewery itself coming up on the 25th.
Yes, so like the Wops Hops episode, if you don't know, we are a Cantina podcast. Not going to the Cantina just yet, but we are the #1 drinking Star Wars podcast in the galaxy. So, what does that mean? It means we spike our blue milk. It means we drink Rhodasian whiskey.
That was good.
It means we drink Kaishik rum.
Kaishik?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of
Is that like a weird way
what's
of saying
the Wookiee?
Kashyyyk?
Yeah. It's Kaishik. Kaishik rum.
I went to school with her in middle school.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, Kaishik.
Yeah. Was she a Wookiee too?
No.
There, right answer. Guys, a little bit more housekeeping. Once again, we still have the Cantina show off going on. Face off.
A little bit delayed.
It did.
This last month and a half has been pretty crazy.
I feel like we say that a lot. But
but I mean, I legitimately...
You did get COVID, so...
The entire Baker family, one person got it, and this Delta variant's no joke. It spreads. I know that months ago, probably close to a year ago, Tashi got it, and you were able to quarantine in the same house and never get it.
No, dude, it wasn't that long ago. It was like
February of last year. So
of this year.
Of this year?
Mm-hmm.
No, well, still half.
Yeah, because I was still at my other job.
But this Delta variant, man, there's no not getting it if you're in even remotely close vicinity of somebody who has it.
Thankfully, we put our making out on hold. So I didn't get it from
today's
you.
The day.
Well, listen, get over here, big boy. Luckily, didn't get it from you, but you guys are all good, except for a little bit of taste.
A little bit
stuff.
of taste is thrown off.
So that's definitely good.
It was a very not fun 2 weeks, but we made it through.
Back to the face-off. So the face-off, if you don't know, we have recruited people through the Facebook group primarily, also Discord, and they are basically, we have a rule set for alcohol.
$30 tequila challenge.
Yep.
We're going to have a window just because $30 doesn't mean it's $30 at ABC versus Total Wine versus your hole-in-the-wall liquor store.
Yeah.
So we're giving it a $10, $5 less plus $5 more. So 25 to 35, but the average it's the $30 tequila challenge.
And so the point is that we have ambassadors for Team Konnor or Team Justin. They will be picking the alcohol. We will then be blind taste testing it. We will be deciding which is better, and then Justin will lose graciously, and I will completely celebrate to the Gungan theme song at the end of Phantom Menace.
The best part of this is because we don't get to choose. Kind of the whole point of it is we get our ambassadors.
Yeah.
So it will just turn into me and you blindly arguing whether we like ours better or not. Like
it'll be us blindly arguing whether we picked a crappy ambassador is what it'll end up doing. So we got that coming up. Once again, we got the live episode at Toll Road that is coming up on the weekend of the 25th. That means it'll be out that Monday. This episode, of course,
is available to go to if you're in the area.
Yes.
You're welcome to attend.
It is in Central Florida, Ocoee Toll Road Brewing. This episode is, of course, sponsored by our Patreons. We thank every single one of you over there. We do have our $3 tier access that is available for some premium content. I'm going to be honest.
Free stickers.
Yeah, we don't have a ton of stuff up there yet, but we do have that, so we greatly appreciate that. And if you do have time to rate and review this podcast, we read all of them, and we have this thing going where all the reviews are hilarious, and people make fun of us. Please keep it that way as long as it's 5 stars. If you have something mean to say and it's a 1 star, I will find you.
No, that's fine.
That's fine.
Let them,
Hey, Justin.
let them have cake.
Guess what?
What's up?
We are a Cantina podcast. So we're going to go into the Cantina right now.
Welcome to Cantina. What are you having? But remember, no droids.
Kick it off.
I'm drinking something I have had before. Because of my tastes being off, I'm finding myself migrating to a little bit different than my everyday drinkers, just because everything tastes like substantially different. What I'm going with today is a local Tampa Bay brewery, Coppertail. This is the Unholy. It's kind of a play on a Belgian Tripel. This is an American Tripel. It's high ABV. It is a 9, if I believe. Let me see if I can find it. I know it's a 9 something. 9.7% or 9.2%. And this is the difference between this Tripel and like your classic Belgian. There's a lot more hop flavor in this. So it's a very unique variant on like your classic Belgian Tripel, which is also another high ABV, but it tends to be a little more malty. Whereas it's got the same malt flavor, but they throw a lot more hops. Their term is a sacrilegious amount of hops with a traditional Belgian touch. And I absolutely love this beer. It's about $12 for a 6-pack, but it's worth it. And it is the same price as most 6-packs that are at craft beer, but it's a 9%er. So it's a bargain of a deal.
I'm giving you ominous music. You hear that ominous music?
A little hint on what we're going to be talking about.
Little bit of a
If
preview
you know
here.
it. I give this I wish I would have remembered what I gave it the last time I drank it. But right now, my tastes are different. I'm going to give this right now, this is hitting me at about a 7.
A 7? That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm a glutton for punishment this week. Actually, right now I'm finishing off. That is a Sam Adams Oktoberfest, which we've talked about numerous times. Very good. 7 out of 10. I've never tried this, and if I don't like it, I'm not going to drink it.
So you are approaching. Is this a seltzer? Or is this a?
No, this is not. This is a regular beer. This is the Bud Light Lemonade.
So a fruit flavored, lemonade flavored beer. Not
horrible. Shocker. That is a 2 out of 10. That is not good. No.
Which is funny because the Bud Light seltzers are actually pretty decent for seltzers.
And I like Bud Light Lime, but this is not it. This is not it.
It's not this stuff. Why is that in your refrigerator?
We'll talk about that later.
Okay.
Yeah. Guys, this week we had some amazing news.
Some of the biggest news, possibly for like long-term Star Wars fans.
Yeah,
like
ever.
It's been a rumor and it's been a myth for
4 years
at least. Yeah.
Knights of the Old Republic is getting a remake, and that's what we're going to be talking about this episode. Is we're going to be talking about our experience from what we remember of Knights of the Old Republic, not number 2, just number 1, because the remake, which I do think that is important to note right off the bat. Not remastering, that it is a remake. There is a difference, and we're going to get into that. This is actually the menu music playing in the background. Hang on, let's get a little bit of this. Wait. Very ominous. This is for ASMR. We're going to play this menu music here for a second.
I'm going to start talking like we're on NPR. This is not very eventful music.
It's not the part where it like really gets going. Hang on. Wait, there we go. It was really bad timing.
I am extremely excited for this. You and I were talking before we recorded, and we were kind of laughing about how much of this game we remember, and also at the same time, how much we absolutely don't remember.
It's weird the things that we did remember, and then we had to go. We went on YouTube to get some of the key points, and we're like, don't remember that.
Like, who's that guy?
When did this happen?
Most of the characters are fresh in my head completely because of playing the mobile game Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes.
Yes.
And I was actively working on unlocking Jedi Revan and Darth Revan. And so all of the characters you have to build up and level up to unlock them. So I was like, oh yeah, I know who this guy is. He's in Galaxy of Heroes.
Yeah. It's kind of like when your kids today say, oh, that's that TikTok song.
Oh my God, yes.
Instant rage.
So irritating.
Hey, let's get into the actual remake announcement itself. We did have some notes written here. So the company
Aspire
is the one that is doing the remake. They're most known for creating Mac ports for window games and reviving classic games. So Jordan already is going to love these guys.
And they have a good track record of bringing back and porting and remastering as far as like making them playable.
What's your definition of that's porting?
Porting, yeah. But, I mean, sometimes I say remastering. I guess it's not remastering. But making old Windows 95's games playable on modern PCs, modern consoles, and modern tablets and cell phones.
I'm sure it's a lot, obviously, it's a lot more complicated than I think it would be. But something that's old tech going to new tech, I think it should just be plug and play.
Everybody always makes the comparison. It's like, all you do is like you right-click and change your save as file from .xbox to .pc. Right?
Yeah, exactly. That's it. That's the only thing you got to do.
But yeah, but Aspire has already worked on a lot of other Star Wars titles, which is awesome. They redid Republic Commando, amazing. Jedi Knights,
and I have the report on my PC for that,
and the very recent re-release for Switch of Pod Racer.
And Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast, they had to have done the one for Switch, which I also purchased it on Switch, which I will say...
I went back to those. Those are hard to play.
Dude, not only is the gunplay of the Outcast games basically impossible, because you kind of just swing and pray with the lightsaber, but shooting in that game, impossible.
Yeah.
Absolutely impossible.
And you're just running through a big block grid
the whole time.
Yeah.
The story is fantastic. The gameplay is actually horrible, in my opinion. If you love it, not a shot at you. It's just I think the gunplay is horrible.
In its day, it was awesome. It's just it's one of those things that it's better as a memory than it is going back and playing.
And playing it on Switch, I actually played Jedi Outcast 2 on GameCube. That's what I played it on.
I played them both on PC.
Yeah.
Actually, all three on PC.
Playing it, I really don't care for... That's a whole nother thing, but Switches, like playing when I have the home console in my hand, being separate like that, can't stand it. But anyway, you said Star Wars Pod Racer, and then, of course, we have the new current day KOTOR, which appears to be more than just a current day port.
Yeah, this is going to be not a port. This is, I think, as far as I know, this is their first attempt of not creating a port, but remaking.
So let's talk
down
about
to the engine, the graphics,
yes,
probably the mechanics.
Yes,
we're assuming is going to be updated. I don't know how much.
So do you want to do the KOTOR recap, or do you want to talk about that specifically?
Let's talk about. Well, first of all, we should say they didn't give a date.
That's true.
We can only assume.
Well, they
it's
said. They
said
a
couple years,
and this is something that I've said, especially like we did our E3 episode at the beginning or end of last year, is when game trailers come out and there's no actual gameplay, you might as well tell yourself, okay, that's 2 years away.
Minimum.
Yeah. Like that's 2 years away. Like we're not getting that anytime soon.
The only benefit this has is it is a known quantity and it's not a starting from scratch game. So that hopefully will make the timeline a little shorter.
Hopefully they have a lot to go off of from the other game, which I think that's a perfect segue. Let's get into the actual recap of KOTOR. Once again, this is the first game. This is not the second game.
It's been out for 16 years at this point, so we're hopefully not spoiling anything from you.
Here's a spoiler warning, though.
Yeah.
Spoiler warning if you haven't.
If you listen to this podcast, I'm pretty sure you've played
it and we've talked about it a million times. So
if you haven't played, my God, do you have a great game ahead of you?
I mean, so many people talk about Revan, and this is Revan's game.
Revan is one of my favorite characters. I have a very, very high-end costume of Revan
God,
because
dude,
I've
just
loved
brag
him.
more.
Well, I can fit into it now that I've had COVID.
Hey, there's a positive. If you don't know, once again, spoiler warnings for Knights of the Old Republic. This is not the PC game. I feel like these two get mixed up a lot. This is a console.
Old Republic.
Yeah, that is
Old
the
Republic
Old Republic.
is a current, still happening MMO.
Yes. Which is a non-canon storyline. Also, KOTOR, Knights of the Old Republic, is also a non-canon storyline. Real quick,
As of now.
I don't think it'll be canon.
I don't know.
I don't think it'll be canon. I think that they will continue to create Star Wars in the space of not making it canon.
Well, let's talk about that when we get to our prediction area,
Okay.
because I have a lot to talk about on that. So
Okay.
I don't want to jump around too much.
So spoilers, if you don't know, you are the famed Sith Master Revan. You fight the great Sith and the Mandalorian War alongside the Jedi Council. You, as Revan, are basically bonked on the head by a woolly mammoth.
You're Jedi mind wiped.
Jedi mind wiped. You have no idea who you are. You and a group of friends that adventure with you throughout the game while you choose your own path, which is light or dark.
One of the very earliest games. I mean, this and Fable are what come to my head on
Dude,
original
and
Xbox.
which came first? Fable came first, for sure.
They were
Fable was
both within, I would say, a year of each other. I'd have to refer back. The reason I can tell you that is I think KOTOR is first. Because Fable came out when I was married, and KOTOR came out when I was not married.
But I thought...
I could be wrong.
Marriage is a pretty big memory thing.
But I could be misremembering Fable 2, so now I'm already second-guessing myself.
Fable was a...
They were both original Xbox
Fable
games.
was a release game. Anyway, unimportant. You're right. Fable and this, they had a very similar...
They were two of the first games that I can remember that would have...
Choose your own adventure.
Light side, dark side, a good or evil, and they also had multiple endings and in between endings. You're still drinking,
dude. That beer is absolutely.
Just drink your Coke Zero,
dude. You know what? You're absolutely. Hang on.
Wash your mouth out of that sludge.
It's just this. Speaking of, Coke Zero also changed their recipe.
Threw me off.
They have new cans.
I looked in the.
If you're watching on YouTube, you can see the can is now all red. It looks like Coke, but the letters are black.
I texted you and Niles, the Kill Key Factory owner and operator, because we all have a joint love for Coke Zero. I spent a solid 5 or 10 minutes in the soda aisle, Coke Zero is just completely sold out because it looks so different that I was
it's
I
red.
walked past it like 6 times.
Yeah, I think this is way more sweeter, and I am gonna say that I like the black can better. And so we went to Sam's yesterday, and you can still buy the black can. You don't have to buy this one.
Oh, nice.
So anyway, Fable and KOTOR were both choose your own adventure.
They were definitely ahead of the curve for what modern games turned into.
So the game has multiple endings. It's 3 to be exact. There's like a neutral ending, a light ending, and a dark ending. And actually, the neutral ending is not confirmed, but I do believe that there is 3 different endings. But the 2 predominant ones is a light and a dark ending.
Light side substantially a better ending than the dark side ending.
Yeah, so we watched both before we recorded, and yeah, the light definitely seemed better. Basically, no matter which side you choose, your closest friend Bastila, which is a Jedi Knight, basically
your
second
future wife.
Yes, your future wife, second seat on the council, very, very powerful Jedi. She falls to the dark side, and the main point of the game, very similar to Halo, in my opinion, is taking advantage of the Starforge. The Starforge is a giant space station that can be weaponized, basically. It's a pre-Death
Sucks the
Star.
power of the Force from other people and channels it into the main bad guy, Darth Malak.
Yep. Dark side ending. You kill Darth Malak, who was your previous Padawan, and you take control of the galaxy using the Starforge. The light side ending, you kill Malak, you disable and destroy the Starforge, and the galaxy loves you, and we have the
Medal of
Coruscant.
Valors.
Yeah. We have the whole thing. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah, that's a very, very basic.
Very basic.
I mean, it's a little bit of spoilers, but it's also, we didn't want to get too detailed to where if you hadn't played this game, or in my specific case, I've played this game from start to finish multiple times, but it's been a minimum of a decade. I think you and I were both on the same path that we've started it because of the accessibility with mobile and tablets.
Yeah.
I've started this and KOTOR 2 so many times and played for like 3 hours, and that's as far as I get.
Do you like 1 or 2 better?
I have better memories with 1, but I remember liking the 2 a little bit better because of the graphics, and they just kind of improved in the fighting mechanics a little bit. It wasn't massively improved, but 1 is like the story that like sticks with me.
I have way more nostalgia for 1. I think 2 is a better game, which stands to reason. It's the second, they learned from. I'm not going to say
technology went forward.
Technology went forward is a whole thing. A little bit more of the game. So the original Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic was released in 2003. This was once again for the original Xbox. It was later then ported for PC and mobile platforms. As you just said, I have it on my iPad Pro.
Yep, it was like $5.
Yep, right here in front of me. Got it on sale one time for May the 4th. The sequel, Knights of the Old Republic 2, The Sith Lords, was also developed by Obsidian Entertainment and was then released in 2004. This is actually crazy.
Fable was indeed released in 2004, so it came out after KOTOR.
Seriously?
Yeah, so 2003
That's crazy.
and 2004. My memory did not fail me. I'm normally wrong.
Hey, pats on back. Okay.
Making guacamole sticks in your head as like a concrete timeline
and that's what
of where to base things off
and
of.
that's what I said. It's like the marriage, like we're sticking with the timeline on that one. Set thousands of years before the Skywalker trilogy and the saga itself, Knights of the Old Republic tells the story of a ragtag team group of heroes who must stop a Sith invasion that faces to take over the galaxy. Along the way, the heroes in the hero's journey set speedily the criminal underworld and the ancient Sith temples. You go through Jedi trials, you then make your own name in the Star Wars history, and there's never been such a complete Star Wars video game in existence still.
I agree with that statement. It's the complete package.
You played through...
You go from a nobody to whether you want to be like all-powerful good or all-powerful bad.
We haven't finished the Old Republic, though.
I haven't played all of the DLC, but
it's hard to compare the two.
I've played
as well.
a lot of that game over the years.
It's hard to compare the two. One thing that, and we've talked about this in video game episodes that we've done, is they just don't make games like this anymore. The start to finish of how much story goes into this game, like this is legitimately has to be. This is like a 22-hour game.
I would say so, yeah.
18 to 22 hours is how long it takes you to beat this game.
It's like a typical RPG where, like, if you want to go do all the side quests and all the...
It's going to be more than 22 hours items, if you do that.
If you play through, I would guess it's around 20 hours. Like, sticking to the main story and maybe a little bit of exploration, but I would guess around 20. 20 is like 20 hours, but I also... You visit so many places that you and I were trying to spitball. Like, did you go here? Did we go here? Because there's so many planets between both games.
Yeah.
And the planets that you go to are super memorable to the point where, like, I remember them so vividly, but I can't remember which is in 1 and which is in 2.
So 1, let's real quick, we'll talk about the opening crawl, because I think the opening crawl is pretty cool for this game. And it's super Star Wars to have an opening crawl.
A good, solid opening crawl.
So the opening crawl, Knights of the Old Republic, 4,000 years before the rise of the Galactic Empire. The Republic verges on collapse. Darth Malak and the last surviving apprentice of the Darth Lord, Revan, has unleashed an invincible Sith armada upon the unsuspecting galaxy. Crushing all resistance, Malak's war of conquest has left the Jedi Order scattered and vulnerable as countless knights has fallen in battle, and even more have sworn allegiance to the new Sith Master. In the skies above the outer rim of Taurus, a Jedi battle fleet emerges the force of Darth Malak in a desperate effort to halt the Sith galactic domination. So once again, that's just the opening crawl, setting the stage for... Revan is gone and Malak is trying to take over the universe, basically the entire galaxy. Some of the places that we visit, like
yes, this is what I wanted to know.
Yeah, not all the other stuff, right? Yeah, Coruscant. That's the
classic,
the very first place that we are. Dantooine.
Not many games visit Dantooine. I like it.
Your absolute favorite, Tatooine.
Yeah. Can't have a Star Wars product without going to this goddamn outer rim dump of a planet.
I love how we in the order is Dantooine to Tatooine. It's like we go through the alphabet in the Dantooine. So we need Dantooine, Bantooine,
Dantooine
Kotor.
in Star Wars Galaxies, Dantooine was the number one planet to go grind and level up your character, in case you didn't know.
It was?
Oh, yeah.
I was always on Dantooine in Galaxies.
Well, that's because that's where you start, and you never really progressed in the game.
I had too many people carrying me through crate dragon raids is pretty much what it was. This was my favorite part of the game is Kashyyyk. Kashyyyk is super cool.
Vividly memorable.
Yeah,
100%.
Super cool. I did love that. Mana.
Don't even remember that.
Yeah, Mana. And then, of course, we end the game pretty much on Korriban before you visit the Starforge. But the Starforge isn't a planet per se. Korriban is really good in this game.
Which is now... What did they delete Korriban from Star Wars canon, and now they replaced it with Moraban from Rise of Skywalker?
No. That's Exegol.
Well, isn't that what replaced Korriban?
Clone Wars, the animated series, Yoda visits Moraban.
Okay,
and it's it's Korriban. It's the replacement. Once again, why we, and that's where he also visits and meets Darth Bane, making Bane canonically correct.
Okay, so since we're naturally talking about this, let's kind of talk about what we think remake is going to mean.
Okay.
Do you think that, we kind of briefly spoke about it, do you think that this game being remade is going to be remade in a fashion, let's take it first canonically. Do you think that this game is going to have maybe some names of planets changed that are canon, or do you think that things are going to be taken exactly from 2003's Knights of the Old Republic and just updated graphics and updated mechanics?
I do not think that it'll be the same game. I think that the battle style of the game will be changed immensely. And I think that the overall story will also be changed immensely.
The story immensely?
Oh, immensely. I do not think that you will... I think that we're going to have a lot of people missing. I don't think we're going to have Joe Lee. I don't think it's possible.
There's no way.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
There's no way they're going to get rid of your party members.
Let me paint a picture for you.
All right. I'm willing to listen.
You update... First of all, there's no way we can have the same story with updated graphics and the length of the game for a $60 price point. Battlefield, the new Battlefield that's coming out, has already shown us that the $60 mold has been broken. That game starts at $75.
I'm fine with games being more than that.
I'm also fine, but I don't think... I think that the last 5 years, even more so, let's say the last 8 years of games have really shown us that we will get less of a story, better graphics, and we will get DLC. I don't think they're
going to do that with this.
Well, I mean, I once again, I love... Me and you disagree on... And I love that we disagree on stuff because it makes for talking points. Yeah. I do not want... This is a remake. It's not a remastering. And I do not want a remastering.
No.
Because I own this game on 3 different platforms, and I'm not going to buy it for my PC.
I think for you and I, remastering means the same to us, where it's like cookie cutter, the same thing, but it looks...
No, remake.
No, I'm saying remaster first. A remaster would be... It is cookie cutter, the same game, but brought up some graphics to look modern, and the play style is virtually the same, but just modern. Not changed, so it would still be turn-based. It would still be
everything is still the same.
Where
it
pauses, and you go pick your attack.
Yeah.
So that to me, that would be a remaster.
See, to me, that's not a remaster. See, to me, that's a remake.
See, for me, a remake, you have to do when I think of Final Fantasy VII. Final Fantasy VII remake that was talked about for years finally ended up coming out.
We're on the same page, just different definitions.
Okay.
Of it. So tell me what you want technically. What you want from the game.
Remaster. Imagine a remaster to me for a game like this would be taking the game the way you remember it in your head.
Yeah.
You have your memory kind of continues to modernize, and in your head when you recall back to something, it's still modern graphics in your head.
Yeah.
But it's that game.
Yeah.
So a remaster would be it's the same exact game.
Yeah.
But you get to see it in the way that you remember. It's nothing is different, nothing has changed. It just looks pretty.
Yeah.
And plays probably a little updated, but mechanically virtually the same.
Okay.
A remake to me would be it's the same premise.
Yes.
It's maybe the key highlights are going to be the same, but they have the option of like completely changing the way you fight, the way you leave. Maybe it's open world, maybe it's not so linear to where you go from planet A to B to C to D.
So what do you want? Because the way that I remember this game and what we saw earlier is you kind of go through these dungeons, for lack of a better world. It is definitely not open world. It is a dungeon-esque.
It's open planet. Like, you can do where you want to do and go where you want to go, but you're locked into finish these tasks before anything progresses.
Yes. Then you have the turn-based system, which is I think, first of its kind, live action turn-based.
Almost never replicated, except for Mass Effect 1 was also a BioWare
also
product.
A BioWare game. So Mass Effect, very much similar, where it's live action in the way that you can move your character, stop the game at any given point in time, go to somebody,
and then strategically pick your
telling
battle
what people
tactics.
To do. I think that I do not think that we will be getting the same storyline with updated graphics. If that's the case, I will not purchase this game.
I'm on the same path as you.
Me personally, what I think and what I want, which once again, if the game is the game redone, there are so many people that are going to be happy. There are so many people that just want that. In my opinion, that's a waste of money because you can buy this game for $5. Is it the story or is it the graphics that you want? You know what I'm saying? Like, which is it? I think that Jedi Fallen Order did so well, and that game was what's the medieval game? Soul, whatever. Dark Souls.
Dark Souls.
It was kind of Dark Soul-esque.
Yes, it was
very difficult.
It was very parry and block and dodge and yeah.
I think that game could. There was no actual battling in Knights of the Old Republic, and I think that there could be an added layer where you could get some even what was that Knights game? Was it For Honor?
Oh my god, yeah, for like Xbox One back in.
Yeah, if we got a little bit of where you felt more in control of the battle, but we still had a pausing and a turn. I personally want a new fighting style because it's almost like Pokemon live action or Final Fantasy live action where you still only can pick 1, 2, or 3, and really picking 1, 2, or 3 really is like rolling dice, and if you get a crit, you get a crit. Like that's all there was to it. I want more of I want more of fighting. I want more of even Mario can be harder at points where you're more ducking, dodging. It's more interactive. Does that make sense?
I do, but to me, at its core, Knights of the Old Republic has always been an RPG.
Yeah, for sure.
So in an RPG, you have a party.
Yes.
And you have multiple people.
Yes.
If you're playing with a Fallen Order style combat system, it kind of would take away to where your party members aren't that impressive or memorable because they're just going to be running around swinging and attacking. Versus in something that's still I don't want. I mean, I love this in the right game, but today I don't want a stop everything turn-based combat system.
Yeah, I don't either.
They've came up with some cool ways in modern eras to give you like a good combination of like a live action turn-based system and like a regular battle system.
Yeah,
like some type of a hybrid because I still, in some facet, want to control my entire party. Whether it's every single move or whether it's I could bounce between them. If I want to focus on controlling Revan and then switch to Karth and then switch to Zalbar or whoever I have in my party at the time.
And see, I think there can be an equal medium where you're playing as you as Revan and then you switch to mission.
Because everybody is not melee based.
That's what I'm saying.
There's blasters too.
I think that you can still, just like...
I almost said melee.
Melee. Just like in the original game, I still think that there's room where you could switch to each character and you could perform your attack, and if you do hit a crit, like there's plenty of games where like something's about to happen and everything goes kind of like in slow motion.
Right.
And then it gives you the opportunity to press the X button real fast.
Or
or
like a real-time event. Like
the Spider-Man games on the on PlayStation. I think there's more real-time interaction that can happen. And I think that the payoff for better graphics, the battling system has to step back. That's just my opinion based on video games that we're getting nowadays. It's just there's too much money and that goes into how much these graphics costs. And we even see that in modern day shows. Game of Thrones was known for taking CGI out because of how much it cost. So if you're recreating this game, I don't see us getting the longevity of the story that we had in 2003 when graphics weren't the problem. Oh, we had block people. We were playing Star Wars Roadblocks. Seriously, we were playing Star Wars Roadblocks, but we didn't care because the story was great.
In our head, it's 4K perfect.
It's 4K perfect, but that's not the case anymore.
Right.
And now that we've introduced this new cost that is how much these video games... You see what I'm saying? I'm just being realistic. Do I want the exact same game with an... I could take the exact same story with an updated fighting mechanics.
Yeah.
With the same path progression and all that, but I do not want a cookie cutter. It's the same game with updated graphics. That's not what I want.
I agree. I 100% agree with you, and I think that we're safe because it is remake. It's not a remaster, so I really think we're safe in that fashion. I really can't wait to see some actual gameplay videos of what they end up doing.
And we're far away from that, probably.
Yeah. What I kind of want is keeping the highlights of the game.
Yeah.
I'm talking about story now, separate from the mechanics of gameplay.
Yeah.
Highlights of the story of, like, your basic, like, the Revan big hitting points.
Yeah.
But let's make it so it's still something new to experience, even with an older, experienced player like us who has played these games since the day they launched.
Here's the new
like
experience.
A way to keep it new. And I would love, because Revan has been recanonized.
This is where I was going.
So Revan has been recanonized.
Yes.
I personally would be perfectly fine if this story had to change to become a canon story of Revan.
And
I'm totally fine with things changing to make that.
So check this out. Malik is not in the new game at all.
This is your idea?
This is my prediction,
Okay.
whatever. In the sense of they make this canon. I still don't think that they're going to make this canon. I think that the story is too beloved by too many people for them to really, really mess with. And Bastila and Malik...
It doesn't really change a lot if they canonize the old one. It doesn't change a whole heck of a lot to what Star Wars is now.
They would have to bridge... where Revan's story ends into High Republic. They would have to. Because, spoiler alert for Revan's books.
This is still thousands of years before High Republic. The Old Republic is thousands of years. High Republic is only a couple hundred.
Before, Phantom Menace. Yeah, you're right. So there's still just a big gap, I guess was my point. There's still a huge gap between what we have, whether it be non-canon Legends and into new canon, which the furthest we go back is the High Republic
as of now.
As of now, there's still a big gap. My prediction would be Bastila still stays the same. Maybe you are just Revan actually fighting through the Mandalorian Wars, and you actually fight Mandalore the Great, because remember, that all happens before the game.
Yeah, because that's all what happens leading up to his mind getting wiped.
That's all what leads up. We could have a story where you are the bad guy. There is no choice. You are the bad guy. The game starts by you disobeying the council. You are the Qui-Gon Jinn. You say, no, I'm not going to do that. You go into the war. You start fighting the Mandalorians.
Being a Jedi and falling away from the light side.
And that's a game that we've never experienced. So that's my idea. Malik would have to be next to you. But my point in saying that was I don't think that we're getting the exact same game. I hope that we don't. I hope we don't.
I want it to be close enough to what I remember to hit on the nostalgia factor and hit in everything I loved about the game.
Yeah.
But I also want it to be different enough to be a new experience for me. Where that ends up falling, I don't know yet. This is all new information. That's my dream. Like it's good enough to being the original to where it still hits in your memory, your nostalgia. Like, oh my god, so many years of hours when I was a teenager playing this game. I still love it, but different enough that it's not playing the same game again. Like, change some stuff it's hard to say exactly on what it would be, but like that's what I would love and would be perfect for me.
Some people used to say that like Revan was a slippery slope. And if you make him canon, you have to make a lot of other things canon. Because,
like what? Like falling away, like gray Jedi stuff?
No. Well, I mean, that's a whole nother thing.
That's all right. First of all, if you've not been reading the High Republic, gray Jedi stuff is already littered in there that they've dancing all around.
Yeah. No, what I mean by that is how many Sith trained off of the holocron of Revan, Bane being a huge one. Bane has already been made canon, but there's so many people even before Revan, and why the reason Revan is Revan, Darth Adiadu, just all these other huge iconic Sith lords that come before him. Excuse me. He was made canon in the visual dictionary of Rise of Skywalker. He was originally actually supposed to be written and mentioned in the movie. That didn't happen, but there was basically a carving, and you can see Revan on there.
On the statue.
The statue that was supposed to be seen on Exegol. He was supposed to be one of the big giant statues that we see as all these amazing Sith Lords. And then also, it was one of the ships, basically. Is that what it was, right? One of the brigades of the Sith Exegol fleet was named Revan.
It was in the visual dictionary, it was something about, I can't remember now without having
No, that's what it is, trust me.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what it is. And there was others where they brought up all those other names. And then if we continue into Knights of the Old Republic 2, we have these amazing, we have Nihilus, we have Darth Traya, we have Darth Sion, we have all these crazy powerful Sith that really outshine Jedis that we have now. That's where kind of like the weird stuff starts to come in, because they're so much more powerful than Jedi we have now. How does that look on cinema? Which I'm not scared of that, because we see things like Thanos, and we see all these, how Marvel movies are being.
Yeah.
I would like to see Star Wars take a step in that direction.
I agree with you, because
I feel like we were almost there with the prequels.
Yes, because
and then the sequels really took a step back.
I feel like the prequels were a step in that direction, but not even to the extent that, yes, there were a ton of Jedis, but they had no real enemy.
Yeah.
Going back to Old Republic, not even High Republic, because in High Republic, there's no real force-wielding enemy.
Yeah.
It would be like an awesome way to bring back and maybe fall into like the almost sci-fi martial arts, because these are like two categories of people at their peak.
There's a third category there too.
The Mandalorians can be in there too.
The Mandalorians. At their peak, conquesting planet after planet after planet.
Plenty of Sith, plenty of Jedi. Lightsaber combat is not a tradition. This is like
life and death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because even in Phantom Menace and the prequels, lightsaber combat was more a tradition where they just trained in it, and they never used it. They never
Sith
came
have been
across.
Distinct for over a millennium.
Yeah. So this is like, I love the idea of everybody at their peak.
Yeah.
Like, they would obviously be more powerful. Having an enemy makes you, each person, good and bad, have to become more powerful. So it would make sense that they're way more Force adept than what we see in the sequel trilogy.
I think of the fight scenes, like I just saw Shang-Chi. I think of the fight scenes that are in that movie. I think of the fight scenes in Phantom Menace. I think of even the lightsaber battle between Dooku and Yoda in Attack of the Clones. And then I think of like Marvel as a whole, like even the hand-to-hand combat scenes in Endgame with Hawkeye and his sword. It's the same. It's Disney. Like we have the resources, and I was telling you this before. I started rewatching Mandalorian, and we're going to do another Mandalorian episode coming up where we're talking about news from Mandalorian Season 3. But dude, the Mandalorian is like is new peak Star Wars for me. Like storytelling, the fight sequence.
Even Ahsoka's lightsaber duel is better than anything in the Skywalker trilogy, just because
sequel trilogy.
Realistically, even in
I don't know, man.
And
I
the original trilogy and the sequel trilogy. Maybe the prequels had better or as good. But because
definitely
Ahsoka was trained and she was fighting somebody who wasn't using a lightsaber. She was fighting another fully trained and highly effective, skilled combatant. Mm-hmm. And that's what we're missing from Star Wars right now.
Yeah.
Well, in cinematic Star Wars, not Mandalorian's crushing it.
Mandalorian's crushing it. The comics are crushing it. I feel like we got a little bit off topic.
That's fine.
More about the predictions.
We want this game.
We want this game.
New and the same at the same time. I don't know how to word it.
I personally would really like to see this game fall more along the footsteps of
Completely
Jedi Fallen
reimagined.
Order. I'll take the same story, but I want Jedi Fallen Order. I want more interactive. Even the Force Unleashed games. Mm-hmm. Nobody talks about the Force Unleashed games. Those games are sick.
If it was a cool, like, you have, like, your ABXY or
hack and slash,
whatever, like, type of buttons. Yeah, I said Xbox, but it's going to be on PlayStation, but whatever.
Well, for us, it's going to be
PC.
PC, yeah.
You pull up a trigger button, and it maybe pauses the game.
Yeah.
And you long hold a trigger button, and, like, here's, like, your left trigger, like, here's 4 moves that you can do, or here's right trigger, and here's a different set of more strategic moves, where you could hack and slash, or you could shoot and blast.
Yeah.
And then you could pull a trigger and pause and stop everything and be strategic. That would be a cool mix of the two.
Yeah.
What about KOTOR 2? Does this mean KOTOR 2 needs to happen for you?
No, not necessarily. I mean, it's only a matter of time, right?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like, if they do this first one, does that mean that we have to get the second one?
We don't have to, but I'd like to see it. I'd like to see it.
Knowing that the story does continue.
The story does continue. But once again, what is this story? This could be a completely new story. Mm-hmm. You know, the Bane that we have in the Bane books isn't the Bane that we necessarily see in the Clone Wars, you know, the animated series. So it really is depending on... You're giving me a look. Why are you giving me that look?
Okay, I was remembering what you were talking about.
Yeah, Bane in the books.
Yes. Gotcha.
And then the one that we see, it's completely
not
different.
The same imagination
not the same.
of it.
Yeah, it's totally different. I do not think that they will... okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being absolutely remake, I think that this will be a 6. 6 erring on the side where 60% of the game is taken directly from the original, and then
40% new.
I'm not even going to say 40% new. I think we're going to get 60% of this game. That's what I think. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I think that realistically cuts have to be made with new technology and how much it costs.
What I realistically think... I'm not even going to say hope. What I think this game is going to be is a pretty spot-on story, point-for-point remake with an updated visuals and updated mechanic in some fashion. But I think story-wise, they're not going to change anything. I would prefer if they take the highlights and then change the less important stuff.
Tidbits.
And maybe shift some stuff around and rename some planets if it leads into being canon. But I don't think that's necessarily what we're going to get. I think it's going to be the same thing, updated, but then completely different battle mechanics.
I will say that you said something that I didn't touch on. I'm going to touch on it now. I do want Mission. Mm-hmm. I do want Zaz.
Your party
I want HK-47.
Oh my god,
I want
HK.
Karth.
We need to. If we're not on the Ebon Hawk, I will riot.
Yeah,
I will literally riot if HK and the Ebon Hawk are not in this game.
There are some key points to the game that I definitely need. I'm not going to say need. Mm-hmm. Or it will completely be. It'll be a different story. Mm-hmm. It'll completely be a different story.
Like I need my team.
Yeah.
I need my ship to be the same.
Yeah.
I need the comic relief of HK-47.
Yes.
And then
HK-47 before IG-11 was even around.
Mm-hmm.
He was the comedic relief already.
I love his bloodlust. Like, yes, master, I will destroy them.
he's like Bones.
Yeah,
he
is like Bones.
He's Bones, yeah. Guys,
it's happening though.
It's happening. It really is happening. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Realistically, when's the next time you think we get any information on this game?
6 months to a year.
6 months to a year. Definitely, I'm not buying a PlayStation for this.
No, PC all the way.
Yeah, it's going to be PC for you and me. But, guys, I was your boy. It's Konkon. And sitting across from me, as always.
Still alive. COVID, antibodies coursing through my blood. Undefeatable now. Now I'm basically a goddamn superhero.
You are.
It's Justin.
Jay Breezy. We'll catch you guys next time.